All right, let's finish up the Unit 8 Circles practice test with page 4, questions number 20 through 23. And these are all very similar to the types of problems you'll see on that end of year test. So they are a little more in depth, I would say. Sometimes you have to do multiple parts, and that's something that I think we need a little bit of practice on. So it's nice that they're hitting the review right now as we start our preparations for that test. So question number 20 says circle T is shown, line PS and RS are tangent to circle T. I know this, if they are tangents, then tangents and the radius make up 90-degree angles. So those there are 90s. I'll write in 90. And what is the measure in degrees of angle PTR? So down here, PTR. Well, if you look at the figure SPTR, it's a four-sided figure, and I know that the sum of the angles of a four-sided figure has to be 360. So that means 90 plus 90 plus 44 plus angle PTR, whatever it is, has to add up to 360. So I can just do some subtraction, take 360, subtract 90, 90, and 44, and I get the measure of angle PTR to be 136 degrees. All right, so this is 136. Now, 136, that's a central angle, so that means arc PR is also 136 degrees. And now it wants us to find the measure of angle PQR. PQR down here. That is an inscribed angle. And an inscribed angle is half of the arc that it intercepts. So this is going to be 1/2 of the 136. And half of 136 is 68 degrees. On to question number 21. Circle with center F is divided into sectors, and circle FEB is a diameter. And you don't really see it on here, so I'm going to see if I can add this EB here. There we go, now we can see it. It says EB is a diameter. The length of FB, so the radius here is 3. Which means the diameter is twice of that, so that means it's 6. And it wants me to find arc AED. So AED. So this arc here. All right. So the measure of the arc is going to be some angle out of 360. So AED is going to be something out of 360 times the circumference. Well, the circumference is going to be pi d, so it's going to be 6 pi. All right, so I have to find that arc, or that angle. Well, if I think about this, it tells me a whole bunch of stuff. It tells me that I have 120, so that means this arc up here is 120. Gives me 45, so arc BC is 45. It gives me 30, so arc CD is 30. And I know that the sum of the arcs all the way around has to add up to 360. So my green arc plus 120 plus 45 plus 30 has to equal 360. So that makes this arc has to be 165. I get that by doing 360 minus 120 minus 45 and minus 30. So that means the central angle also has to be 165. So 165 out of 360 times 6 pi. Let me jump to my calculator. I have 165 nope, not times, divided by 360 times 6 pi. I'll leave pi out for now. So that's 2.75. Let me turn that into a fraction. That's 11 over 4. So my answer is 11 over 4 pi. So that is choice B, 11 pi over 4. Question number 22 has 2 parts. It says point B is the center of a circle and AC is a diameter of the circle. Point D is a point on the circle different from A and C. All right, so let me start by putting a circle on. And it says AC is a diameter. So we'll call this one over here A. Call this one over here C. So AC is a diameter. And point D is on the circle somewhere, not at A or C. So I don't know where to put it. I'll just arbitrarily put it anywhere I want right now. And part A says indicate which statements must be true. Has to be true no matter where D is located. So let's look at, select all that apply. All right, so is arc AD has to be bigger than CD. Well, if you look at where D is located right now, arc AD is actually smaller than arc CD. So that means A is not always true. It could be true, just not always. So letter B says the measure of angle CBD. Okay, let me mark in here. This is circle B. So that's a B. So it says that angle CBD, right there in blue, is half of CAD. Now this angle here, CAD, is smaller than CBD. So this is CBD. And whatever CBD is going to be the same thing as arc CD. So if I wanted to, I don't know, call this 120, that would make CBD 120 degrees. And it would make CAD half of 120. So CBD does not equal half of CAD. It's actually twice as big as CAD. So because of that 1/2 there, this is not true at all. Okay. Let's try letter C, the measure of angle ADC. ADC. No matter where I put D, it is going to be an inscribed angle whose endpoints make up a semicircle. So regardless, arc AC down here is a semicircle, is going to be 180. And angle D, ADC, is going to be half of that 180. So it will always be 90 degrees. So C is one of my answers. That one works. All right, letter D says angle ABD has to be twice as big as ACD. So ACD. So ACD is an inscribed angle. And we know that whatever this is, if I say that this is 40, then ACD is going to be half of 40. So if I were to double ACD, it would equal ABD. So that is true. That one is kind of like the opposite of answer choice B, which we said that answer choice B was not correct because of the 1/2. Answer choice D fixes that problem. And then letter E says the measure of angle ABD has to equal the measure of DBC. Well, DBC, I can tell just by looking at this one, these two things are not equal always. They will be equal once, but they add up to 180. The only time that they will equal one another is if they both equal 90 degrees. So only C and D should be circled in part A. All right, let's go on to part B. It says if the measure of BDA is 20 degrees, I want to continue that thing on. So if the measure of angle BDA is 20 degrees, what is the measure of CBD? I'm looking for the angle in red. Well, ADB, if it is 20 degrees, then this arc, and I'll call this, I don't know, point Y. From A around to Y has to be twice of the inscribed angle, so it'll be 40. And then the rest of it will make up 180 because it's a semicircle. And I know this doesn't look very good because my angles are not drawn to scale. But if this is 40 and the rest of it has to add up to 180, that means this has to be 140. Because that'll give me the 180 that I need. And if this is 140, my central angle in here would be 140. And then I can see that this has to add up to 180 because it's a straight line. So the angle that I'm looking for, the measure of angle CBD plus 140 has to equal 180. I subtract 140 on both sides. I get answer choice B of 40 degrees. Again, that one wasn't real nice just because my drawing was not to scale. But even without the scale of it, I can see that that does have to equal 40 degrees. And then question number 23. It says a circle has a radius of 12 units. Okay, so let me go ahead and draw a picture of a circle. You'll notice I draw a lot of pictures to help me on this test. I think that's important. I think drawing a picture here is very beneficial. Oh. And it says it has a radius of 12. Find the number of congruent sectors the circle should be broken up into to create a single sector area of 24 pi square units. So if I'm going to do, I want this area in here to be 24 pi. I want to know how many of those 24 pi's can I get. Well, let's find the area of the entire circle. The area of the entire circle is going to be pi r squared. And I know that r is 12, so that's 144 pi. That's the area of the entire circle. And I want to divide this up evenly by sectors that are area 24 pi. So I'm just going to take my 144 pi and I'm going to divide it by 24 pi. Well, the nice thing is the pi's cancel. And I'm left with the little problem of 144 divided by 24. 144 divided by 24, which is 6. So this is 6. So a circle with a radius 12, find the number of congruent sectors. I need 6 congruent sectors. If I have 6 sectors, each at 24 pi, that would give me the 144 pi that I need for the entire circle. And that's it. That's the end of the review. Good luck with your studying. Don't forget, when we come back on Tuesday, you will have a review day on Tuesday. You can ask any questions that you have about the practice test, or retake any of the small quizzes that you want to retake. Check any of the homework that you've done. You can build your note page, your note card, or set yourself up for unlimited resources, and the test will be on Wednesday. Have a great rest of the weekend, guys.